Tara Mendocino and Bill Riles are responsible for all the technology that is incredible here, part of the Galaxy team, that I'm proud to be a part of the Galaxy team as well. And I want to also let you know that every now and then I'm going to take a look at my computer sitting on the table here so I can see the chat. If you have some comments, questions, if you have trouble seeing the dice, let me know. I'll call out the numbers. But we'll do the best I can to try to please everybody, which is impossible, but we'll please as many people as we can. Okay, so let's get into what's happening now. We can clearly see that Kenji has the lead in this game. You make your 5-point, and you have an incredible advantage. And Wilcox has a very, very stiff position with those stacked checkers, but he just rolled a great roll to unstack and make his 3-point with the 5-3. The 6-5 can be played really two different ways, but this is clearly right, because the other way he would be leaving a direct shot in the outfield. I would hit here because that's his only game plan. You always think about your game plan. And hitting was all he had. He better stop him by hitting. This is very clear, and the 2 comes down. As a builder, I think you come out, you give him way too many shots. And he agrees with me. I must be prescient, huh? Okay, 5-1. Very quickly, you make the forced part of your play first and then look around. Okay, what's he thinking about? He's thinking about the cube. If he doubles, the way I think about the cube is I ask myself, would he take or pass? I'm not sure, but it's a quick take, very quick take, but it's probably still a good double. Why is it a good double if you know your partner has a take? Your opponent has a take. There's only one good reason, and that's if you think you're going to lose your market too much. And O'Hagan's law, John O'Hagan came up with a formula of 25%, which applies to money games and pretty much for these kinds of games as well. Sorry about the background noise, but we're going to have to fight with that throughout the tournament. Now, my goal as a commentator, I'm not going to try and get into the deep complexities of match equities and take points, because the really good players don't need my help there. In fact, there's many players watching who can do it much better than I can. My goal is to make the game more understandable for the intermediate, the average player, and even for beginners. So if you don't like my commentary and it's at too low a level for you, turn off the sound. Enjoy the show. I have no ego about it. My goal is to help promote the game and make the game more interesting and fun for everybody. And experts do not need my commentary. Although, once in a while, I'm going to have some really good expert help next to me, which is almost impossible to find right now because they're all playing. All the really great commentators that would be helping me. But throughout the rest of the tournament, you're going to see everybody who's good and who's knocked out who's also a good commentator. I have 2 criteria. They got to know the game, and they got to be a great commentator. Look at that play. He comes up, making it very, very easy to go behind. But what is his goal here? His goal is get off that gammon. You've already given up on this game if your name is Wilcox, and you only want to lose 2 points and not 4. So if you're really trying to win, you stay back on the 24 and try and get that shot. But the odds of getting the shot, hitting it, maintaining your board, and getting those last 2 checkers out is just too small. So at some point, just like in life, you cut your losses. You got to know when to fold them. And that's exactly what's happening here. This game is virtually not a lock, because that's what backgammon's all about. That last-minute double 6 roll or whatever. Oh, my God, he's slotting. He's hitting and slotting. There's one big advantage of that. You gain a lot more gammons, but you're risking the game. But I don't think it's that big a risk. I like this play. Going behind and making the 2-point, well, there's an argument for that. I really like this play. And, every single play you make in backgammon, you're weighing the risk and rewards. There was a pretty good risk there, but the reward was worth it in Kenji's opinion, and I would agree with that. In the old days, we'd argue about it. We'd play it out as a prop thousands of times, but now we just hit a button on Extreme Gammon, which is the best backgammon software, www.extremegammon.com, and we know instantly whether it was the right decision or not, but I don't think there's much question about that hit. Okay, again, this game is Wilcox has a slight chance that Kenji could roll double threes, double fives, and crash and get some bad numbers here, or 3-5 a couple of times, but it's not that likely. So I would be thinking about not leaving shots and trying to not get gammoned. Every checker back can cost you another 15 to 20% gammons depending on the position. So here's one of those bad rolls that Wilcox was hoping for. It's not the end of the world, though. But actually, dancing was pretty good there. This is starting to get a little brittle. This prime has, he got the 5. That's the key. I'm sorry, the 6. Getting out with that 6 was the key. Okay. I'm not even sure I make the 2-point if I roll the 3 here. I guess you do, but depends on what comes with it. Ooh, this is not pretty. There is no way to cover and keep your prime. Oh, yeah, well, you kept the prime, but you didn't cover. Okay. Wow, that was quite a play. I'm not sure I wouldn't have switched points. There was a switch play from the 6 to the 2 that I think might get you more gammons, but here's what surprised me. He played it very quickly. Kenji is a great speed gammon player, and I've never seen him hesitate in a chouette to make the bold play. He's got so many years of experience. What bothers me about Kenji is I think he's about my age. I'm 78. He looks like he's 50, and he acts like he's 50. He's got a beautiful wife, and the two of them, she's here with us tonight, and they travel all over the world together, and they're just a fun, wonderful couple. Okay, this is largely about winning gammons to make that point, and also winning games. Dice on the checkers are not good, but that was between the checkers. In the United States, they're playing a lot of tournaments that you can have the dice land on the checkers. By the way, another rule you're going to see throughout Monte Carlo is we're not playing legal moves. We're playing responsible moves. So if your opponent makes a mistake, you don't necessarily have to call it on them. If it works to your advantage, you keep your mouth shut and play. If not, you can say something. Unless they make what we call a totally impossible move, like hitting your own checker and putting it on the bar, something like that. So I like those rules very much, and I want to give a shout out to the WBIF, the World Backgammon Federation, and from the United States, Rich Munitz, who did a tremendous job unifying the rules of backgammon. We finally have one set of rules for the world. I don't like every rule. I don't agree with every rule, but I like that we have them, and I'd rather have a rule that I don't like completely than no rule or different rules everywhere you go. So hopefully, in time, all the tournament directors will come around and use those rules. Almost all of them do already. And that's what we're using here, by the way. That's what's being used here. There's a couple of tiny little things that are different. One thing that's very different that I love, and I'll get into it later when it matters, is how you keep score. You see the scoreboard, and that's going to be the major scorekeeper. But if you have a pad and paper, you can write down the away score. Mark Olson agrees with me that that's a good way to score backgammon. Most people who disagree with that, they think it might be confusing if the two players aren't using the same score, and I agree with that. They need to both be on the same page, or at least write both scores down. There's other tournament directors that believe that you're doing a computation, and that's why it's wrong. I don't believe it's a computation. That's the way backgammon works, the away score. All right, we got an exciting position here. If he rolled a 2, that would be very big on gammons. So now this game is pretty much a win of 2 points for Kenji, and a loss of 2 points for Wilcox. He was even thinking about maybe even running there, but there's no gammons. He can't win by running. He may as well stay and see what happens. There's a good axiom. When you can take them off, unless you have a very good reason not to. Now he's just going to give up. He's just saying, okay, I can't win this game. Even if I stay and get a shot and hit it, I probably won't win. But there's an outside chance if I stay, the guy might roll 2-1 like he just did, point on me, and I might get gammon some. So for a long time in this game, Wilcox was saying, okay, I took, it didn't work. That doesn't mean his take was wrong. That just means it didn't work out. If you only need to have around 25% of the time to take, which means 75% of the time you're going to be sorry you took, but it's still right, because statistically you're going to come out ahead. Now, the beautiful thing about match play is at different scores, those numbers change. Okay, I am watching the chat. If anybody has any comments, wants me to slow down, wants me to talk about anything else or shut my mouth, let me know. I'm always looking for constructive feedback. I'm just excited to be here. This is the most exciting tournament in the world. It's very, very well run. Not only is Mark Olson and the Galaxy staff great, but they bring in incredible people like me. Oh, I mean, like Tara and Bill and others to help. And Arda, who is one of the foremost tournament directors in the world, and his group from Turkey, they just do an incredible job. It's run like a well-run machine, and they've only had it now for about 2 years. I think this is their second year of owning the Monte Carlo tournament. Maybe it's the third. Okay. So here's what I do, and I tell all my students, and for those of you who don't know, I've been teaching for 25 years. I'm one of the co-founders with Perry Gartner of the Backgammon Learning Center, www.backgammonlearningscenter.com. All of our teachers, and our teachers include people like Mochi and David Wells, and Joe Russell is now joining our group. I'm very proud, another world champion joining our group. Frank Talbot, the list goes on and on of the great teachers that we have. We all teach the same thing in the same basic approach. At the beginning of every game, before that clock starts, what's the score? What's happening with my strategy? Because it could change my opening rolls. Now, when you're losing 2-0 in a match to 11, I can't imagine that you change very much. But if you were losing 4-0, I would make a big change. I would be playing gammon go and gammon save. So even at those scores, and I learned that many, many years ago from Joel Sylvester, and when Joe taught it to me, Snowy, which was the computer program back then, said Joe was wrong. And Extreme Gammon came out and rolled it out and proved that Joe was right. He was way ahead of his time. Joe, if you're listening, we all miss you. I know you're healthy and well and living somewhere in Missouri, and you're playing occasionally. And every time you play, you impress everybody. You're still one of the all-time greats, and I want to thank you for all the things that you've taught me over the years. Joe lived with me for a while, and I just learned a lot from him. One of my real mentors. Okay, back to this game. Again, we see Kenji with a good start, but Wilcox is winning the race. Double fives is very interesting roll because he can't hit him. And when you have a single checker back, you would like to hit. That's the best way to contain him. And he certainly would have liked to hit the blot on the bar point, but he missed it. So you make the best of it. You've got to make your bar and then figure out where's the 2. That's what he's doing. And where's the 2? Okay. That's the fewest number of shots. He's also unstacking his 6 point and putting a checker where it wants to be. I love Paul McGrill. I listen to the checkers and they tell me where they want to be. And it wants to be on the 4 point. It doesn't want to be anywhere else. It doesn't want to be on the 11 point. It doesn't want to stack up the 6 point even more. So the checker told him to go there. And Paul really heard it too. Okay, he's thinking about the cube, and I don't blame him. I would, if I was Wilcox, I'd be afraid to take this cube, and that's a real major reason for me to give it. But as soon as I think, wait a minute, if he's afraid to take it, maybe I'm too good to double. I think that's maybe what he's thinking, because I think this is a clear cube, in my opinion. The fact that you're winning 2-0, I don't think should stop Kenji. The other thing is, I think you need to be aggressive with Wilcox. You're dealing with one of the very best players in the world. I guess that doesn't intimidate Kenji as much as it would me. But that would make me want to double so fast if I'm playing Wilcox Snelling. But there's nothing wrong with taking this kind of time to think about it. I think this is a clear double. And I'm not sure Wilcox would take it. He's got one back. The only pointing numbers are 6 and 6-4. But there's a lot of other good numbers. Well, 6-1 makes the 5 point. He's still got chances to escape, but the 1 is going to be big. If that's 11 numbers right there, 11 out of 36, about 31% of the time that Kenji will roll a 1 and hit that checker, that loose checker, and have 2 checkers back, and that increases the gammon risk by quite a bit. Is he thinking he's too good? Is he thinking he's not good enough? Well, if I'm not sure if I'm too good or not good enough, I always double. Not a very scientific approach. All right, he did it. He agreed. Wilcox snapped it up. Now, do you think he made a quick decision? No, he had all that time while Kenji was thinking. 6-4 is one of the pointing numbers. For sure, you point. You got a 4-point board versus a 1-point board. He could have made his bar point, but that's what an amateur would do. This is a very good roll just to come in. I think you make the point and hope he doesn't roll a 4. At least you're doing something productive, and an inside point is very, very good. I'm getting, Tara, I'm getting some kind of a notice on the screen that I don't want to see about an Android device, so Tara Mendocino is going to take care of it. She takes care of everything. All right, whoa, what a roll. Come in, hit, make the 5-point. That is the dream. Oh my God, that's what makes backgammon exciting. We just lost our feed. At least I lost mine, but I think I can see it from this big screen. I'm going to take a look at the big screen now and watch what's going on. Something screwed up my screen, but if Tara's watching, she'll take care of it. Okay, that double 1 was a monster change. I can't see the dice either from here, but bear with me. I'm sure you can see it at home. Do me a favor, call out the dice when you see them. Now who's too good to double? Talk about a turnaround. Double 1 was an equity swing of 2,000%. Do I feel sorry for Kenji? Hell yes, I do. I don't like it when that happens to me. That was a big, big roll. That could be, if Kenji loses this match, that's the roll that's gonna keep him awake at night. And you believe me, these kinds of things will keep you awake at night. Anybody ever see that Mel Brooks movie, The 12 Chairs? Yeah, I've been calling you. I got cut off. Something about an Android device cut me off. If you see the movie The 12 Chairs by Mel Brooks, Dom DeLuise gets to the top of the mountain. He's finally supposed to get saved, and whatever he needed wasn't there. He looks up at this guy and says, "God, why are you so strict?" I love that line. And you can certainly say, "Dice gods, why are you so strict? Why would you give him a double 1? But look at this. Doesn't roll a 4. Oh, he has to come in. He's on the bar now. See, I missed the action because my screen was out. They're playing on the beautiful Earth board, which you can get at Galaxy.com. It's made by FM boards. They're beautiful, beautiful boards. I want to tell you, Monte Carlo used to have junky boards, junky plastic boards, which I thought was a little embarrassing for a tournament of this kind of quality. But, it was very, very costly to bring in good boards. But through the cooperation between Galaxy and Fuat of FM boards, we have great boards at every single table. Beautiful wooden boards at every table. And those FM boards are gorgeous. And this Earth board is, I played on it. It's lovely. The surface is great. Everything about it. Okay. Looks like Kenji survived that double 1, didn't he? Well, I was not looking. Look at this. Oh, my God. I thought he was dead after the double 1s. It's Wilcox that's getting the... I did not see what happened. I'm sorry, my screen was out. But I'll get to look at it later. Oh, I've been corrected. It's not the Earth board. That's the Monte Carlo board. The Earth board is exactly the same, but it has more Earth colors. It's just a matter of the colors of the field. And the beautiful thing about these boards is you can change the field very, very easily, and you can get you could have one board with 12 different fields, and every day you can have a different field if you want. So you don't have to worry about them getting stained or wearing out. I got some friends that like to play in the chouette and are eating coffee and having ice cream floats over the board. These boards, you don't have to worry about it. Okay, this is a sure gammon unless you leave a shot and get hits. And as soon as you use the word sure in backgammon, you're going to get bit right in the butt. There is no sure thing. The old expression about the fat lady singing, well, they never sing in backgammon. Yeah, peel from the rear. What else can you do? Well, that's not so bad, by the way. That configuration is not that bad. But since you've got the gammon anyway, you're happy to clear the 6 point. Lots of times you want to hold the 6 point to make it harder for him to get out or to have him crack his board. But when you got the gammon anyway, clear. Oh, he's not clearing. I don't like that play. 6-5? I would not have made that play. And he did it quickly. Wow. Kenji. I could be wrong. I'd love to see that next G. One of my axioms about this is don't put yourself in positions that can leave double shots. 6-5 would have been disaster when he left 2 checkers on the 6 and 2 checkers on the 5. He didn't have to do that. He could have just cleared the 6 point and he had his gammon anyway. I think that was a very poor play. And again, I'm happy to be corrected because I was wrong a few years ago, something like that. So who's the expert in that stuff? Bob Wachtel, another one of our teachers from the Backgammon Learning Center. I'm not trying to do a plug, but Bob wrote years ago, I think it was 1997, In the Game Till the End, and before we had really good computers. And it turns out that he was right about almost everything, and he came up with a new book that corrected it some and improved on it. And it's still the definitive book, I think, on bearing off and holding these low games. Okay, so again, he's got 5 checkers off. He can still easily lose this game, but I forget about easily. He can still lose this game. He'd leave a shot and get hit, but it's not going to be too easy now. We're starting to get into backgammon territory where Wilcox has to think about escaping a back checker. He's kind of sorry. So it's only with a 3. If he'd have rolled a higher number, I'm sure he would have gone. I would think he would go to get off the backgammon. Maybe it's too soon. Maybe it's one roll too soon. He knows better than me. Now he's clearly going to move one of those checkers because a 1 will give him a shot. So you have to, a lot of people miss that. It doesn't matter whether Kenji has an even or odd number of checkers on the 2. What happens if he rolls a 1? Anything but double 1, any 1 but double 1, he gets a shot. There it is. There it is. And there's still a chance to win this game. And certainly get off the gammon if he hits it because he's got a 6 prime. All right. That was big luck for Wilcox. We call it luck. It was skill for him to stay there. It was skill for him to make a 6 prime. He took the cube. By the way, he could still win this game very easily because this is the kind of position where you might get another checker, and that's going to be Wilcox's goal here. How do I get another checker? You want your opponent to come in and then roll another 1, and then you want to hit it. So you don't want to close your board. You want, in this case, because if you close your board, you're a big underdog with 1 checker up, even though the 3 checkers are on the 2 point. I think Kenji's more like 85% or more if you just closed him out. So he needs to get that second checker. He's advancing the prime with that play. He's slotting the front of the prime. Cock dice, they go over. He's going to make the prime now. Now what happens if he rolls a 1? This could be a very, very sad turnaround for Kenji, just like that double. There it is. There it is. Now, if Wilcox doesn't roll a 1, he's going to hit loose. He might even hit loose with a 5 or a 6. Oh, he got it. You know who's a favorite now? I think if Wilcox closes the board and with the 2 checkers up and the 2 on the deuce, Wilcox would be a very big favorite. In fact, it would be a double and a pass for money, which means that Kenji would not even have 25%. And that's probably about what he needs to take this cube. So Wilcox needs to close the board, and he can double and win. I know as a reference position, if those 2 checkers that Kenji has left were on the ace point instead of the deuce point, it's very just borderline pass. I think it's like 20, just under your take point. So this is a very huge turnaround. He doesn't even need to get the 3rd checker to win this game. Is he going to double now? Yeah, he's sure to close the board. He'd love to see Kenji take. Technically, Kenji could eke out a take here, but I don't know. I wouldn't take it, but it might be a take because he might roll something goofy and not be able to clear the board. He might leave a shot. This is right on the edge, and that's a beautiful cube. That's the best time to give a cube. Some people ask me, when's the best time to give a cube? When it causes the most pain. Now, when does it cause the most pain? When it's the hardest decision to whether to take or pass. So if he had waited till he closed the board, it's an easy pass. We all know that as a reference position. So he did it before he closes the board, before he loses his market. Thank you, Mr. O'Hagan. Now, John O'Hagan's law says if you're going to lose your market 25% of the time, you probably have a double in a normal situation, but it's a redouble, so you need to lose your market a little bit more. I like this pass. I think it's pretty, the handwriting's on the wall there. And it's just too big a swing. Wow, that game had more swings than a schoolyard is what they say. The double one, I thought, cost Kenji the game, and I was wrong. And then the hit at the end. If he doesn't hit that shot at the end, look, it was a 6-point swing. He would have won 4, almost certainly won a gammon. So Kenji would have won 4 instead of losing 2. A 6-point swing in an 11-point match, I don't have to tell you how big that is. So now, if I was keeping score on my score pad, I would say 9 away, 9 away. And that's what I tell my students. What you care about is how many points you need to make it. I think what they're doing now is they're taking a break. They're going to go to their phones and they're going to listen to my commentary because they're really bothered that they're missing my commentary. I think that's what's on their minds right now. I don't think they care that much about the match. It's me they're missing because I'm really good friends with both of them. I wasn't good friends with Wilcox because for so many years he was out of the game, but he's come back in the last few years, and we've started communicating and seeing each other, and I have enormous respect for him as a person and as a player. And of course, Kenji and I, forever we've been close friends since I've been in the game. I think that's nothing special. I think everybody loves Kenji. He's one of the most lovable people in the game by far. And always respected as a great player. Okay, I believe you get 2 5-minute breaks, but I'm not sure exactly what the rules are for this tournament. I'm not going to time them. All right, I'm going to look at the chat now, see if I missed anything. Justin Knoll, my good buddy, is on the chat. Justin, welcome. I'm sorry you're not here. You're in England. He and I played a lot in New York. I'm spending about a third of my time in New York. I've got a bunch of reasons to be there. And a bunch of students, and I'm lecturing at a bunch of clubs. We gave a lecture at a club the other night. I'm not allowed to talk about where and who, but we had, this is the first time they've ever had a backgammon lecture. They had no backgammon program there, and we got to give my good buddy Jason Briggs credit for setting it up. He brought me and Steve Sachs there, and we gave a lecture. We had 35 people for the very first time at this club, and it's not that big a club. It's a private club. It's a golf club, primarily, and croquet, golf, and some other things, and 35 people, and most of them were very, very young. So I see Wilcox is relaxing, but ready to go, waiting for Kenji. This could have been a bathroom break or whatever, but I'll tell you what, if I was Kenji, and in those 2 turnarounds, and I got him nailed, and I get a 6-point swing, it's a good time to call a timeout. Okay, I'm always ready for comments, ideas, and again, it's going to be much better than just listening to me in the future. I'm going to always have, whenever I can, somebody who knows how to play backgammon next to me. So we'll have a new angle on the game. I'm pretty good, but not like these guys. Gaz Owen says it's a small take. Thank you, Gaz. A small take, and I suspect that it was because when you close the board, you've lost your market, so it had to be right on the edge. And I don't blame him for passing. Just because the computer says it's a small take doesn't mean you should take it. There's an emotional aspect, and you don't want to go down 4-2 after you were looking at being up 6-2. I honestly know I would have taken it because I'm playing Wilcox. I'm going to gamble. That's how I win. That's the only chance I have to win against Wilcox and players like that. And by the way, I've been pretty good at it. I won't say who and I won't brag, but I've got a very good record in tournaments against top players because I play stupid and I get lucky. Their PR is 2 and 3, and there's no way I'm going to beat them if I just play my normal game without a lot of luck. So I'll gamble on the cube. That's what you do when you're... But Kenji doesn't think that way. He's not sitting here thinking Wilcox is much better than me. I've got to gamble. He's sitting there thinking if I play well, I'm going to win. That's what a champion thinks like, and Kenji is certainly a champion. in my book and many people's books, and he's proven it over the years. What a great money player too. I have to tell you, there's a lot of action in Japan, and he's not afraid of anybody. I've sat there and watched Kenji play Akiko and Mochi and be permanent box against them. Especially when they were younger and getting started, they didn't have a lot of capital, so Kenji liked the action, and he would take the permanent box against both of them, and he could hold their own. I can't wait to see Mochi and Akiko. I just got here earlier today, and I haven't seen him, my dear friends from Japan yet.
For my mother.
There was an exciting match last night that I missed. Double match point. Victor Ashkenazi, the great Victor Ashkenazi, beat the great David Wells. And they were both playing somewhere around 3 PR or less, and then they ran out of time and played quick at the end. But it's supposed to be one of the, just an incredible match at DMP. Could have gone either way. All right, I think they're waiting for the nod, and they're ready to go. It's like a whole new match. 9 away, 9 away. I actually have to feel for Kenji. He got bit in that game quite a bit, but it happens. That's part of the game. That's one of the reasons that Wilcox takes, because if all else fails and it looks like it's all over, there's always that last chance. Ace point games will always get a shot. The question is, will you hit it, and will there be enough? I still have to look at that play that Kenji made where he left 2 checkers on the 6 and 2 on the 5 to give him a bad 6-5. I can't wait to see if I'm right about that, because I teach don't do that. Maybe the alternative was too bad, because you always have to look and see what the alternative was, and sometimes a bad play is the best play because other plays are worse. I hope you remember what I'm talking about. In the bear off, you don't want to leave a double shot. That's one of the main ways you're going to get hurt, because a double shot gets hit twice as much, around 60% instead of 30%. Oh, a double 6 from the bar. This is too good to double. Yes, it is. You got very few ways to get hurt and many, many ways to hurt him. You keep going. Notice, all right, I was going to say, notice he doesn't touch that back checker on the 24. You're blitzing. All you care about is stopping your opponent from making an anchor. And he's going to hit those checkers with anything. I can't imagine what he wouldn't hit with double ones. Oh, because he came in with both, he felt he wasn't too good anymore. I would have continued. I would have kept playing. And he did that quickly. I don't understand. Maybe I'm way off, but I would have certainly thought about it at least. And I think I would have thought it was too good.
Maybe.
Somebody asked if Mochi is playing in this pre-tournament. I don't think I saw his name or Akiko's in this pre-tournament. But we certainly have seen a lot of other giants in this. Again, last night was Victor and David Wells. I know Joe Russell's playing right now. Michel Lamotte from Bruges is playing. There's a good blitzing position here. If he doesn't roll a 5, you can kiss this game goodbye, and look at that. You rolled a 5, but not a real good number with it. But that anchor, that's what we call an anchor when you're holding your opponent's 5 point. You're anchored in there like a ship is anchored against the heavy seas. It's going to be safe for a while. You've always got a place to come in. You're never going to get primed. You don't get gammon too much if things go bad. So that's why it wasn't even a double for Kenji. That was a great roll for Wilcox. Hit and point. The word and is one of the best words in backgammon. If you can do something with the word and, that you hit and point or you escape and hit, it's usually right. I'm making the bar point here, I think. Yeah, and he does. Duplicates the 1 coming in. It's good structure. 3 is forced. The 5 is forced. Now look who's on the... That 5 that Wilcox rolled kept him in the game, and now he's got a very commanding position. I don't think it's a double. I could be wrong here because I'm taking quickly, and that's I use Woolsey's law. I ask myself, if I were my opponent, would I take? I'm grabbing this cube. Threes are duplicated. Threes hit on the outfield, and threes make the 3-point inside. That duplication is probably enough to make me take. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. That's why I'm sitting here. And he took. Okay. He agreed with me. Kenji agreed with me. And so did Wilcox. I thought it was double take. Now, how do you play the... Oh, you can hit 2. You come out, you leave lots of shots, and there's Kenji's got a pretty good board. Wilcox has got a problem if he hits here and gets hit back, but he does it. Now, he can move his checkers back. Until he hits the clock, it's not a play. He gets hit back with 5s, and double 4 is a big, good roll. And he has to come down with the last one. Wilcox better perform here. He better roll a 1 or a 5, particularly a 2 or a 5, particularly a 5. And he does it. Now, who's too good to double, or who's... Oh, he did it very quickly. Why are you playing so fast? You know how long he took on that 1 cube decision, and now he's just flipping it like crazy. Is there a chance this was too good? No, he's probably right. I don't know. You got 4s and 1s to... Well, 4s... You got 5s and 1s to hit, 4s to cover. You can also cover with multiple numbers like 7s and 7's a duplication of the outside hit. Why is he thinking about this? Looks like a huge pass to me. I was thinking maybe it was too good. I can't believe he's thinking about this. He's outboarded. There's position, race, and threats. Position is inferior. Race... I'm not smart enough to figure that out that quickly, but I think it's close. Threats are huge. The threat of making the 5-point or hitting another checker are very, very major for Kenji. I would pass this if I was Wilcox. He took it. I must be wrong. I promise you I wouldn't bet against Wilcox. He's going to hit outside. That's all he can do. Hit it. What else is there? Oh yeah, he can hit that checker, bring another checker down, and get more builders. Oh, I don't know about that. I might have brought the 6 down. Might have hit the outside one. All right, this worked out very good for Kenji. That was that 6-1 play. I really don't know. Kenji's playing awfully fast on some very difficult plays. You gonna hit another checker? It was that to bring another builder in, but he's not that worried about getting hit because Wilcox's board isn't very strong. Wilcox is now starting to wonder why he didn't listen to me and pass this cube. I sure would have passed it. I wish I had an XG feed here to prove why I'm wrong. Because if Wilcox took it, it's probably right. This guy does not make too many mistakes. It's certainly on a 4 cube in a big match, he's not going to make a mistake. So I must be wrong here. I can't believe how fast Kenji's making some of these decisions. That's what I can't believe. But he stays at his own pace. Now, I know some players, and I won't name names, that play intentionally fast to try and get their opponents to play fast because they feel they have a real big advantage. Do you lift here? You don't really need the 5-point. I'm not sure I don't lift. I might lift there. I'm not that afraid of the board, but you don't really need the 5-point to win this game, and you could always hit later if you came in. It might have been right to lift there. Guys, I wish you were here working the XG. You said it's a strong take, but most players would pass. I'm most players. I would have passed it. And again, the second that Will took it, I knew I must have been wrong. My mother used to tell me I only open my mouth to change feet. That's why I'm doing commentary, so people can laugh at me. But also it tells you why I'm sitting here doing commentary and they're playing. Those who can do and those who can't, teach. The other day, somebody told me the rest of that sentence. Those who can do and those who can't, teach Jim. Okay, that's off the board, cocked dice. They reset the clock, which is very nice. He needs to get over a 4 to get out. But I wouldn't be too worried right now if I were Kenji. Of course, based on what's happened to him in the past. This is a 4 cube. This is really huge for the match. Uh-oh. It's getting down to, he better get a 5 or a 6. And he's favored to do it. The odds of getting a 5 or a 6 are 20 out of 36. Oh, wow. I got a feel for Kenji. What's happened to him in the last games, if he gets hit here, I'm going to cry. I'm actually going to cry. Not that I'm rooting for against anybody or for anybody. I just hate to see that kind of a consistent swings and bad luck. Hey, he got out and he safetied. Whew, he hasn't won yet, though. Wilcox comes in. Oh, he desperately needed to come in with one checker there. Desperately to have a chance. Now the gammon's almost assured unless Wilcox rolls two large numbers, 6-5, 6-4, 5-4, all those leave shots.
2-1.
He's got to get a little number in there somewhere. Or double sixes.
Short match.
I neglected to mention,
I was lucky to win one.
which is even better because it gets more checkers off and he's almost guarantees the gammon. Wow. A gammon on a 4 cube, 8 points, the match, and all because Wilcox didn't listen to me and drop that cube. All because he did the right thing. Now, is Wilcox going to cry tonight? He would cry more if he did the wrong thing and it worked than if he did the right thing and it doesn't work. Because we're big boys. We're wearing our big boy pants. That's backgammon. At the end of the day, you can't control the luck factor and how things go in that respect, but you can control your decisions. And if he made the right decision and Gaz tells me that he did, it was a take, good for him. He's going to go down proud. Great match. Kenji, I'm actually happy to see Kenji win. Not that I would say the same for Wilcox, but I'm very happy because those turnarounds, he didn't let it faze him. He stayed tough. He played great. He played fast. He played bold. And my hat's off to both of them. I'll have to see the PRs, which is the performance rating. After you put it into Extreme Gammon, we'll know exactly how they played. But these are two great players. That was a very exciting match. And I'm excited because now I can have Wilcox help me do some commentary. There's one of the great commentators in the world. He knows the game so well, and his experience around the world is just amazing. We go back a long way when he was... in a former life, he was related to a Chicagoan named Gary Kay, and he used to come to Chicago to visit his father-in-law, Gary Kay, and I knew Gary and played with Gary back in the day, and met Wilcox way back then, but didn't get to know him that well. Back then, he was also considered to be the best player in the world, so he's coming back. No shame for Wilcox, and he's actually happy it happened in this tournament, not the big one that starts on Tuesday. So this tournament's going to finish up tomorrow, and then we're going to start the main event on Tuesday, and that's not to be missed. We're going to take a short break here. Tara, if you're listening, let's take a quick break. I'm going to get a drink of water and line up what we're going to do on our next match, what time. Stay tuned. It'll be on this channel. Like the channel, subscribe to the channel, and you'll get notifications whenever we're starting to stream. It's going to get busy, and it's going to be fun. Again, I want you to give me your comments. I'm constructive criticism or whatever. I want to know what we can do more of and do better to make it more enjoyable for all of you. And we'll do the best we can. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you very shortly. Stay tuned for the schedule.
Alan Shankowski from Toronto.
Yeah, sure. How are you?
Listen,
Nice to see you.
I gotta tell
Let's
you.
get away from
Yeah,
the...
sure. I gotta tell you. You're gonna... You are definitely my favorite. No pressure. Comedic aspect, professional aspect.
Over by the microphone and say,
Yeah.
why did I move you?
It's such a pleasure. Really to watch
Thank
it.
you. That's
And
nice.
I was so happy that you were actually going to be here this year. So yeah,
Thank you. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah.
We'll spend some time together later.
yeah, sure.
Very nice. Very nice of you to say so.
Likewise.
Wilcox snapped up that cube, and I was sure of the pass. He said it was good pass. Number 5
I want to do now we are getting okay?
Yeah.
It was like, yeah,
Congratulations. Nice win, nice win. Good play. Oh, that's okay. Oh. Hey, I thought it was a pass. I told everybody it was a pass. He takes it. I'm surprised. I thought it was a pass. But we were rooting for you. The way those other games got turned around on you, we felt terrible for you. And then when you left the four shot, we were praying. I say, oh, please don't hit it. We were all rooting for you. I just all the players. Very good. Good luck with the rest. Very well.
Anyway, I was in there. Almost Gammon. He hit me an ace.
Oh, yeah. And when you passed the cube after he hit the second checker, it's a tiny take, so I would have passed it. Yeah, it's close. Too close to count. The other one, oh yeah, when you came in with the 2-3, you might have still been too good. You did that, but you double fast.
Yeah.
I don't know why, you're going so fast. Yeah, I said you probably have to go to the bathroom.
That was a great match. Good luck. Good luck.
So Bill, what's our schedule?